Hope this finds everybody having a good day. We're going to go ahead and go through the, the practice assessment here. So let's start with number 1. It says find the missing side lengths, leave your answers as radicals. It'll be okay if you put them as decimals. Same thing on the test, put them on decimals. I am okay with that. So if we look at it, we want to find the missing sides of A and B. So these are ones that we created our table for. So we're going to create our table for a 30, 60, 90. So we've got a 30-degree angle, 60-degree angle, and a 90-degree angle. It was n, the 90 was 2n, and the 60 was n radical 3. So we looked at the side that we were given. The side given is opposite the 90, so this was 18. So then 2n is going to equal 18, so n is equal to 9, and then that makes this 9 radical 3. And that is your solution. Question number 2. Now we have a 45, 45, 90, so we're going to make our table for 45, 45, 90. So anyway, over here, sorry, go back to question 1 again. So A is opposite the 60, so A is going to be 9 radical 3, and B is going to be 9. And you could put it as 9 radical 3 into your test. Okay, so we've got a 45, 45, 90. So our table is 45, 45, 90. Whatever value you used, n times the square root of 2. They gave us the side opposite the 45, so that's 6. So that makes the other side opposite the 45 6, and then 6 radical 2. So the hypotenuse is 6 radical 2, and the v value is 6. Again, we may have used different things other than n, but it's the same thing. The next one, again, we've got a 45, 45, 90. So 45 is n, 45 is n, 90 is n radical 2. They give us that, so it's 8 radical 2. So we go n radical 2 equals 8 radical 2, divide by radical 2, and you're left with n is 8. So both of those are going to be 8 and 8. And the last one, we've got a 30, 60, 90. So we've got a 30 is n, a 60 n radical 2, and I'm sorry, n radical 3, and 90 is 2n. They give us the side opposite the 30, so that's 3 radical 3, and that's 6. And you're done. Nothing left to do with 1 through 4. Question number 5 says, write the trigonometric ratio for the cosine of x. So we locate x first right there. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Remember SOHCAHTOA, S-O-H-C-A-H-T-O-A. So the adjacent is the 40. Adjacent is the closest to. The hypotenuse is 41. So the cosine of x is going to be 40 over 41. And you're done. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, and we want the tangent of C. So the opposite is 18, the adjacent is 24. So 18 over 24, which is 3/4. Either one, you'll be fine. Number 7, find the measure of the degree. So we want to find the question mark. So according to our question mark, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So we're going to go the tangent of theta is equal to 17 over 48. So since we have to find the angle measure, we're going to go tan -1 on our calculators of 17 over 48. And from now on, I'm just going to do the inverse because that's what we're trying to find. So we've got second tangent of 17 divided by 48. And it says to the nearest tenth, so 19. So that's 19.5. And the next one, we have to find the missing side. So we've given this angle, so this is opposite and hypotenuse, so sine. So this time we got to go sine of 48 because we know the measure of the angle is equal to x over 37. So we'll cross multiply. So 37 times the sine of 48, that's going to be your x value. 37 sine 48 is 27.5. Number 9, again, we're going to find a missing side again. So this is opposite, this is adjacent, so tangent. So tangent of 48 is equal to 11 over x. So cross multiply, that gives you x times the tangent of 48 equals 11. So you're going to take 11 divided by the tangent of 48. 11 divided by the tangent of 48. And we get 9.9 for a solution. Number 10, we have to find the angle measure. So we're going to do second, whichever one it is. This is adjacent, this is hypotenuse. So we'll do second cosine. So cosine -1 of 31 over 59. And that's always how you do it if you have to find an angle measure. And it gives us 50.8 degrees. And this one was a degree as well. Number 11, we have to find a missing side. We could use 30, 60, 90 for this one, but we'll go ahead and use adjacent over hypotenuse. So we use cosine. So cosine of 30 equals x over 11. So cross multiply, we'll do 11 times the cosine of 30. It's going to be our x. So 11 times cosine of 30, and 9.5. And the last one, opposite over hypotenuse, so sine, and because we're trying to find the angle, it's the inverse sine. So inverse sine of 14 over 35. And you get 23.6 degrees. And there's that set. All right, so now we have to draw a little bit. Lisa's in a window. It's 9.2 meters up. So it's 9.2 meters up. And an angle of depression from Lisa to Paul is 79 degrees. So she's sitting up here. She's looking down at Paul, who's down here. And the angle of depression is 79 degrees. So this angle right here is 79 degrees. This part right here is 9.2. It wants to know how far from the base of the building is Paul. Well, technically this is the base of the building, but that also makes this the same. So we've got opposite over adjacent, so tangent. So we're going to go tangent of 79 equals 9.2 over x. And because the 9.2 is on the top, we're going to take that and divide it by the tangent of 79. So that's 9.2 divided by the tangent of 79. And you get an answer of 1.8 meters. He's looking pretty much straight down. A building casts a shadow that is 6 meters long. So the shadow is 6 meters long. Here's the building. The angle of elevation is 78 degrees. Find the height of the building. So we're going to opposite over adjacent. So tangent 78 equals x over 6. So since the 6 is on the bottom, we're going to go 6 times the tangent of 78. You get 28.2 meters. next ones are using law of sine and law of cosine. So we're going to find the measure of angle C. So because we know the measure of angle A and the length of its opposite side, that's the law of sine. So we're going to go the sine of 76 over 28 is going to equal the sine of angle C, which we're trying to find, over 25. So now we cross multiply, so this is going to be 25 times the sine of 76, and then that's going to be divided by 28. And that's going to give us a decimal. So we'll go 25 sine 76, I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to divide that by 28. That gives us 0.8663. That's equal to the sine of C. But because we're trying to find the angle measure, we need to do the inverse sine of that decimal. So second sine of that, and it gives us 60 degrees is the measure of that angle. We have to find the length of BC for the next one, which is that right there. So we have side angle side. Anytime we have side angle side or side side side, we have to use the law of cosines. The law of cosines says the side that we're going to try to find squared is equal to one of the sides squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times each of the sides times the cosine of our angle, which was 137. Sorry, I ran out of room. So on our calculator, we'll go 17 squared plus 13 squared minus 2, and then put a parentheses around the 17, put a parentheses around the 23, and then hit the cosine of 137. So then you get x squared equals approximately 1029. And then we take the square root of that, and you get x is equal to 32.1-ish. So I'm going to write it now. Number 17, we've got side, side, side. So we have to find the angle in this case. We have to find angle B. So the formula that we used with side, side, side said the side opposite the angle we're trying to find squared minus the other two sides squared, all divided by -2 times those sides. That's going to be your cosine of your angle. So we said be careful with this. So 19 squared minus 21 squared minus 18 squared, and I write that number down. That's -404 divided by -2 times 21 times 18. That's -756. That's going to be the cosine of B. So I'm just going to go second cosine because I have to find the answer. So I'm going to go cosine -1 of -404 divided by -756. And I get 57.7 degrees. Number 18, find angle B. I know the measure of an angle and its opposite side, so that's the law of sine. So I'm going to go the sine of 110 over the length of its opposite side is equal to the sine of B over 36. Nope, not 36, my apologies. Should be sine of B over 28. So we're going to go 28 times the sine, cross multiply, of 110, and then divide that by 36. That'll give us the sine of B. So 28 sine 110 divided by 36. That's going to give me a decimal, so we're going to go sine -1, so second sine of 0.7309-ish. So second sine, second answer, 46. 7 degrees is the measure of that angle. Number 19, we've got side, angle, side. So we're going to use the law of cosines. So the side that we're trying to find squared is equal to the sum of the sides squared minus 2 times each of the sides times the cosine of our angle. Punch that all in your calculator. 12 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 12 times 21 times the cosine of 89. You get x squared equals 576. Take the square root of that, and you get x is equal to 24. Again, that was side, angle, side. And the last one, we have two angles, so we can find the third. 180 minus 91 minus 28. That gives me 61. So we can use the law of sines. So sine of 61 over the length of its opposite side. Now it wants us to find AB. So opposite of AB is the sine of 28. We'll put that over x. So we'll go 28, that's a nice 8, times the sine of 28 divided by the sine of 61, your x value. So 28 sine 28 divided by sine of 61. 28 sine 28 divided by sine of 61. You get 15 is equal to x. Right? So there's your review. And there's the video for the review. Remember, you have your assessment on Wednesday. It's the first day that you can take the assessment. You probably have through Friday to take the assessment. If you have any questions, I'll be on Wednesday. I'll be online from about 9 o'clock until 11 o'clock if you have any questions prior to taking the test.